So a second theory that we are discussing this week is called activity theory triangle. And this is what it looks like overall. There's different variations of it, but this is what it looks like. And there are also 6 components to this theory: rule, subject, tools, motives, but motives divides into 2 parts: object and outcome, division of labor, and community. So you want to review this PowerPoint that I'm about to show you, but first make sure you access the triangle as well that I've provided so that you have a nice visual and the definitions of each component of the triangle. A lot of times when people see the triangle, it looks intimidating, but activity theory is actually really fun to learn about, and it's not quite too different from John Swale's theory of discourse community. So this lecture is a quick PowerPoint that's going to discuss what each one of these components mean. So now let's talk about this triangle theory and explain it a little bit more. Activity triangle theory helps us understand human interaction. It's a little bit more focused versus John Swale's on just how individuals communicate in a community. We are looking at the adapted version by Kane and Wardle, and they published it in a book called Writing About Writing. So if it helps, download the triangle while you're reviewing this video to kind of compare the triangle visual to the definitions on here, but this is based on the triangle that was just shown at the beginning of this video. It doesn't matter where you start when you're analyzing activity triangle theory, what part of the triangle, but I always start with community and subject because it lets the audience know what community you're focusing on before you get into the other areas. So the community part of the triangle, it's the people who share knowledge, interests, stakes, and goals. To help with that, answer this question. What is the community called that you're analyzing? Subject, person or people engaged in activity who are the focus of a study. So for that section, think about what are the names and titles of the people in that community. They're the subject. Rules. Rules are the laws, codes, conventions, customs, agreements, any or all of that community members adhere to. What do they have to follow? What rules do they have to follow while they are taking membership of that community? So what rules do members have to follow so they don't get kicked out? Division of labor. How the works in an activity are divided among participants in an activity. Meaning, what responsibilities do members have? What individual responsibilities are members in charge of as their role in the community? How is work divided? Tools. Tools are physical things, representations, and systems of symbols, such as language and signs, also genres, that a subject uses to accomplish an activity while they are a member of that community. For this section, think of all of these things, not just one. What objects are used, what tools are used, what words, language, meaning think about lexis again. What words do you hear that you know you're in that community? And what genres are used by members in this community? Motives. Motives are the purposes, reasons for the activity. Now, be careful with motives and don't skip on the 2 parts. Motives has 2 parts, object and outcome. The object is the immediate goal, or are the immediate goals of an activity. What that means is, what do members hope to accomplish within the day or the week at most? What do they share together? What goals that they have to accomplish within the day or week? The outcome are the long-term goals of an activity, meaning what do members hope to accomplish within the year? Or if membership isn't a permanent thing, it doesn't go on forever, meaning the closing point of that community, when the member leaves, what do they want to accomplish by the time they leave that community officially? So remember that motives has object and outcome. So let's test activity triangle theory on a community to see if that community has if we can find all 6 examples of the triangle with that community. So what we're going to use in this sample is our class community. It's a community because more than one person makes it up. It's not just one person in this community, there's a group of us. So let's apply activity triangle theory to our class to determine if it meets all 6 components of the triangle theory. Alright, so we're going to take each aspect of that triangle again. So this part just reiterates, it explains each component of the triangle again. So let's answer this question. Again, it helps to pause, I think, and answer it on your own to kind of compare, see if you have similar answers as this lecture that I came up with. What is our classroom community called? Well, we definitely have some type of answer for it. It's called English 1301, Expository English Composition. It's the official name of it because English 1302 is different, and then if you move on to other literature courses, they have a different number and a different title. It's different than your math class, different than your history class. So check mark for the community component of the triangle. We found an example for it. Subject. What are the names and titles of the people in that community? Do we have an answer for it? Answer for our community. Students, me and you all's, each of you all's individual names. And then me, I'm also a member. So Miss Maluli, instructor, that's my title. You all are titled students and you also have names. So we definitely found several, we could find several answers for subject because there's a lot of us here. So check mark for subject. All right, we have 2 out of the 6 of the triangle. Rules. What rules do members have, meaning you as students and me as an instructor, so they don't get kicked out? What can you think of for our community, for our classroom community? Don't plagiarize. Write your original work as students. Those are rules you have to follow. Don't this goes both ways. Don't bully. Don't be offensive for all members to follow. For me as an instructor, don't share personal information. I also just thought of one right now for me. I have to complete grades. I have to submit grades so that you get your grades by the end of the semester. So we definitely have rules for our community. Division of labor. What responsibilities do all members have? So not just you all, but me as well. I am in charge. My responsibility is to teach the objectives and assignments on the syllabus. I have to grade papers and activities and create lectures and activities for you all. You all need to complete the assignments on the syllabus, and on my part and on your part, discuss coursework when it's relevant. So we definitely all have our own division of labor. Probably more, but these are just the main ones that I'm writing down when I created this lecture. Tools. This one's nice. Tools is the reason I like tools is because it kind of combines. Swales had it separate. He had genres as one component, one characteristic of his community. He had intercommunication as one, and he had lexis. But I like this part because it just funnels it all together. So for this section, think of all of this: objects, tools, words, language, and genres. So let's think of all these examples. Objects in our community, physical objects that you hold on to, meaning tangible, something you hold on to in this class, are the books and your computers. Tools used, you all use pen, paper, that's a typo, pencils, any other tools. I don't know, let me know if y'all think of something else for tools, especially since we're online right now. It's a little different, so those are the tools you need in this course. You don't need a calculator, for example, so pen, paper, pencil. Words, language that you hear that you know you're in English 1301. Well, the word rhetoric, composition, this week, discourse community. Coming up soon is research, writing, reading, narratives, genres itself is a word or language. Anything that you hear and you know you're in English 1301 and not in your math class. Genres, what type of documents or text are used in this course that are recognizable by their conventions? Well, this PowerPoint is a genre. Your essays, all your essays, I just put the ones we've completed or we're working on so far, but the narrative essay, the rhetorical analysis essay, they all look different. The discourse community ethnography coming up, your research paper, all your essays are genres. They're very different from each other. Our syllabus is a genre. It's a document that's given as an agreement between you and myself to follow what's due for the weeks to come and the weeks of the past. Blackboard is a genre. Email is a genre. So we have many examples for tools for the triangle. Motives. All right, so remember motives has two parts. Immediate goals for the class community. Well, you need to complete, and I also need to assign the weekly coursework for you all, so it goes on my part too, but complete the weekly coursework. More in a face-to-face situation, show up to class. Go to office hours if needed. Make sure on my part that I have office hours for the week. Those are all our immediate goals, the object. Long-term goals, this isn't a community that you're a part of forever. Don't cry too hard about that. But the outcome for you is to pass the class, for me to submit grades when the semester is over. So long-term goals, the outcome. So definitely motives. So our course passes activity theory triangle because we found examples for all 6 components of the triangle. It passed the theory test. So again, similar to Swales, the point is similar. Similar to Swales' theory, we use this theory of activity triangle to understand the world around us more, maybe appreciate it more, maybe learn something about something we don't know about, and gain respect for members of a community. Placing yourself in the rhetorical situation of a community you are not a member of. If you're not a member of something and you have to place yourself as if you are an active member, it's difficult. So you're thinking about the rhetorical situation. You're placing yourself in that community. Even if you are a member of, you probably before this week didn't think about Swales discourse community or activity theory triangle. So you're looking at a community you're a member of with a very, very critical and different lens than you're used to. It lets you understand this community with a critical lens. And it builds your ethos, meaning your credibility as a researcher. And wow, sorry y'all, I was typing this fast, so I'm noticing typos. Critical analyzer. Builds your ethos as a researcher, finding out information about a community, and helps you critically analyze, meaning did it pass the theory test? You know, when you have to ask yourself that, when you have to evaluate that it's something different that you may not be used to, so you're critically analyzing. That's really important. It helps you understand something in a different way.